Mate, yesterday I was, I still am pure blood, unvaccinated. I left site yesterday in Ravensthorpe to be denied access today, December the 1st. I will not consent to these mandates. I'm a free person and I will not give in to tyranny. And the Australian Constitution has only been changed 8 times since 1901, and that is by the people. The 8 times the Constitution has been changed is by way of referendum. That is the only way it can be done, not by the government. There are 2 copies of the Australian Constitution, the one in 1901, which is, I think, a green book. The blue book is the latest one, which has been changed by the government since the 1970s. That is the fake one. Forget about the government that legislates changes to the Constitution. They have no authority. As soon as people wake up and realise that the ultimate power is in our hands, then we win. They lose.
Hey fellas, tools down for democracy. Stand up for the democracy of Australia. Put your fucking tools down.
So we're at Parliament House. I have a human rights lawyer with us right now. So what do you think of the government mandates?
Mandates are unconstitutional, illegal, and violates human rights.
And you're here today to speak to the crowd?
Absolutely.
It's good to see someone like yourself with good credentials, good background, that's willing to take a step to help with the humanitarian process of these vaccine mandates.
As a legal academic, I've been speaking out about this since March 2020 and warning people. Of course, those warnings have gone by the wayside.
If the Australian people continue to do nothing and let the government get away with changing our constitution without public referendum, it will eventually mean we will lose more of our constitutional rights and reduce our democratic freedoms. Please hit the subscribe button. You're watching Hang Loose Recluse Productions.
So today you'll just be addressing the crowd and just giving a good speech and encouraging us all to stand up for our rights, I suppose.
Yeah, I experienced tyranny under communism, and I know it's only when the people allow it to happen that it occurs. Yeah, unfortunately, when rights and liberties are taken, more and more can be subverted.
We look forward to seeing what you've got for the crowd today.
Yeah. How wonderful is this?
Yes,
This
awesome.
is democracy in action.
Absolutely. All the best for today, and let's hope you make it a good one, and good to see you out there. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. See ya.
Heavy security today as Parliament House, the most protected place in Western Australia for sure.
But we're all here for one thing, and they're here with us. It's called democracy.
I've got Danny from Italy here.
He's here as a student, but he's here to stand up for the freedom of Australia. What do you think of the mandates that Australia's imposing on all of its employees?
Just think they're against the law. Our human rights don't really know what to say because it's a worldwide issue at the moment. So I feel like fighting from here. I'm fighting for Australians because I want to become an Australian one day. I love this country. This is the country for freedom for me. That's why I came. Freedom of people everywhere, you know. We're gonna make it anyway. I'm sure. I'm positive. Like all the people there. It's all positive.
Good on you, Daniel, for coming in and standing up for the future freedoms of Australia.
Thanks to you. Thanks for your job, and hold the line. Don't believe media.
Don't believe the media. Let's look at your sign.
Television is brainwashing.
There we go, brainwashing machine. Yes, absolutely. Television.
Yeah, I'm affected by the mandates. I'm a government employee and stood down effectively from this morning.
Good on you for standing up for your rights, sir. Hopefully today makes a difference, but the way McGowan's going, he probably won't care. It's got to cause some issue to his tax pocket, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's really got a problem with his use of power.
Absolutely, especially that we have 0 community cases of COVID in WA. Yep. I know they're preparing for it, but it should be pro-choice for sure.
Absolutely, and I only see one plan from the government. I don't see any sort of backup plan or any support plans at all. It's just horrific.
And it makes me wonder how we're going to look back at this in 50 years' time, or how society's going to look back at these situations. Yep. It's unfathomable how the government can put this upon the people.
And they know there's alternatives.
Yes,
absolutely. There's other things we can do, and they're not doing any of it.
This wonderful gathering of decent, honest West Australians must not escape the notice of our rulers, because these people here are the real West Australians. These are the productive people, the people the state needs to function. The people in there, it's very doubtful whether the state needs them to function at all. So it's about time those people in there came out here and talked and listened and learned, because they have no right to deprive honest, hard-working people of their jobs.
I think 99% of us here we're not anti-vaxxers, we're pro-choice, and that's getting left behind in the whole message of this. Everyone here has worked hard to get where they are. They've worked their asses off, and they just had it ripped from underneath them. It's not right, you know. We want freedom of choice. That's all we want.
Pro-choice. Everyone here is pro-choice. We're not anti-vax. We're not muppets. We're not conspiracy theorists. We just want to be able to make our own decisions for our own bodies and have our jobs back. That's all we want.
So WA is unique in the situation where we've got hundreds of mine sites with thousands of workers. So we haven't seen this in Australia. So what is going to be the test next year, or when they allow the virus to get in, is what are they going to do to the workers on site? So for instance, you go into one airport and you fly to one mine site, then the guys fly to another site. What are they going to pull those close contacts off the site and sit him in their rooms for 14 days, unfucking paid? I mean, wake the fuck up. All you people on mine sites, you've been coerced. You've basically been medically raped. Wake the fuck up, because you got your third and fourth one coming up, and you're going to know about it. I would not be on a mine site in Western Australia in the next 12 months, because you're going to know about it. Good luck to you.
I'm one of the few people that's visited to USSR, Soviet Russia, and I've also read the history of Germany from the 1880s to 1945. I studied that for a reason, and I see everything running parallel to that, and what I saw in Russia as well, where the freedom of the individual just does not exist anymore in Russia, and that's why they changed. We took all our food into Russia for a 10-day stay. Why? Because in the biggest wheat growing country in the world, they imported 50 million tonnes of wheat. And I came home and told the local fella, you wait till Russia becomes a capitalist country, they're going to flood the world with wheat. In 20 years, after eliminating basically socialism, they went from importing 50 million tonnes to exporting 50 million tonnes. They had no farmers, no farms, no machinery, no expertise, no managers, and no export terminals. Everybody's going to be controlled. Well, I'm already restricted from what I can do, and that's going to affect my future and my staff. One step at a time, and we've got to a point now where it's actually, I see it, like same in China. I see the remnants of what China used to be like when I visited China on business. And yeah, it's just same thing here. It's a different sort of passport, but it's still a passport, no matter what you say. And still a restriction on you making a choice about your health and safety. Safety is about me making a decision. As the miner up there said, you can do things which are a bit dodgy, but assess the risk before you do it. And then it becomes safe, because you've assessed the risk, everybody knows what's going, and then you're right.
To see the passion in your eyes, mate, I can tell that it means a lot to you to be here today.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get to any others prior because I've been working, but I'm trying to change things that I'll be able to get to these every time now.
Freedom! Yeah, freedom! And we are free! Yes, we are here for freedom. We're here for choice. Yeah. Look for Paul Jara, you're gonna be surprised. Okay, keep rocking. People, freedom. My heart.
Excuse me, mate. Where's the fishing reel with the kite that's supposed to fly over into the Parliament there?
It's in the car, ready to go, mate. I had just gonna drop a bit of something on them. Hopefully a bit of sense, a bit of truth. Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Good work, buddy. I like the fishing rod there, mate. Awesome.
Cheers, mate.
These mandates are very dictatorial. Mandates aren't a law. There's nothing currently in the Parliament that backs up anything. There's no legislation. There's no bill before Parliament currently. So personally, I've got 32 years experience in mining, construction, energy, oil and gas. I had to leave site yesterday because I was under threat of $20,000 personal fine and $100,000 to my company. I just don't like them. I don't like these mRNA vaccines. vaccines, I'd take probably any of the traditional ones. In fact, I've had more vaccines probably than most people I know because I've worked all over the world. I've worked in Africa, I've worked in Asia, I've travelled every third world country you know. I've had typhoid, hepatitis, yellow fever, cholera, the whole lot. Probably ones I've forgotten. I've had malaria treatments that are now illegal, like Lariam. Now when I have to get something, I'll do a bit more research on it. And in fact, I say to most people, I bet they do more research on buying a new dishwasher than what they do on getting a squirt. We've got a communist dictator, state premier in WA, Mark McGowan. He got a majority in Parliament. It's gone to his head. He's also the finance minister. He's doing two jobs, probably collecting two paychecks. He's just heading the same way that other tyrants in history have run. He's a mini dictator. The guy's out of control. He doesn't listen to the people. There's two things when you're making a decision: science and sentiment. So it's what you think and what you feel and what the data's telling you. You look at the countries that have got the highest vax rates, like Ireland, Israel, Gibraltar, Seychelles, like all 97% double vaxxed and on their third and fourth boosters. When you look at that, and they've got the highest rates of infection. So they're all the people that are in hospital, they're all the people that are dying. So it's pretty crazy. The site where I work, I've seen a lot of vax injured. There's people there, they're telling me, when I get their confidence in this, they tell me stories about how everyone's had a reaction to it. Knocks them on their ass for a couple of days. Some pretty crazy shit going on.
I'm here, mate, in opposition of the unlawful, unethical and immoral mandatory vaccinations. Yeah, mate, I was terminated as of today. 12 years in the industry as an advanced rigger, crane operator, lots of experience, always follow safety protocols. We're always taught to make sure that we assess the risk and do things right, and if we can't do them safely, then we weren't supposed to do them at all. And I'm here because I'm trying to figure out why this is any different, why we're supposed to just accept the fact that we're supposed to line up like sheep for a bloody, vaccine that's got known adverse effects, and in some cases, I think about over 800 now deaths.
Do you think it's odd that the mainstream media most likely won't do an interview like this with any of the workers here and put them on the news tonight to tell their story?
No, I don't think it's odd at all, mate, because, they're getting 100% tax rebate, $41 million to mainstream media that's backdated since the start of the whole pandemic. So the way I see it, they're reporting one false or misleading narrative and blocking out anybody else who's got something to say. Mate, I was asked by SBS to have an interview just before, but I have zero faith in any mainstream media outlet, so I won't be letting my words be manipulated.
In saying that, bro, I appreciate you talking to me today.
Oh, mate, and that's what freedom of speech and democracy is all about, isn't it? And I thought democracy was about freedom to informed consent and medical choice as well, but that's not the way that this state government and Mark McGowan are sort of rolling, and we're here to actively oppose that and make a change. One great thing about it, mate, is it's brought people together, and people with like minds and similar values, and we're all the numbers are growing every week, and we see it in the rallies. We see it here today. Look at all of these shirts, and one of them's mine. All laid down, and we're prepared to stand our ground and go the whole way.
Are you affected by these mandates?
Yeah, I've worked in disability for 25 years. We're a host family for a young man with a disability. He's been coming to our house for 25 years, and then we were told that unless my daughter, my husband and I were vaccinated by the 1st of December, he can't come and stay with us anymore. I work in mental health. I work with a lady whose mum is not vaccinating. The young lady with a disability with the mental health problem is not vaccinating, but because I work for a company that's mandating, I can no longer support her. I work in a group home with adults with disabilities. I can no longer support them. So there's lots of support workers standing strong, but there'll be lots of people with disabilities that have no carers and no support now. So 25 years I've looked after children with autism, I've supported people in my home, and now I can't do it. I was supposed to do a night shift last night. I was supposed to work till 9 a.m. this morning, and I got pulled off at 9 p.m. last night.
You just struck an emotional chord in me. I was almost rolling up then, and the emotion of that just went over me, because here we are today on the steps of Parliament House. It's got to this, and McGowan does not give a damn about anybody who opposes these mandates, it seems. So,
and I refuse because I have adverse effects in my family and in my circle, and
so many families being destroyed as well.
The doctors they're gagged by APRA, aren't they? They're not allowed to give you an exemption for any reason at all. Now my 18-year-old wants to go and have it so that she can go and work a part-time Saturday job, or she won't have a Saturday job. I'm devastated, gutted.
You know what I find odd? You got guys like Jeff Parry just over there, right? He'll never interview people like this and show you a full story. Why don't they have a 1 hour show on Channel 7 Perth and show everybody's story, but they won't do that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm annoyed with.
It's the lack of debate, it's the lack of talk, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we do these rallies and there's thousands and thousands of people and then we're told it's a few hundred people who have pro-disease or something. It's ridiculous.
And there's people that can't always be here that also support in other ways, and they represent the crowd here today as well in their own way. But you know,
I've watched person after person have to have the jab and to feed their family, and they've had to cave. It's been horrible watching them.
Yes.
I think the worst thing is there's just no debate.
Yeah, no debate.
It's just one side. I used to really, really admire people like.
Put it on the back of him. There you go. Ask him to hold it with that nice white shirt.
He's almost as smug as Mark McGowan.
You can't even do your own job properly.
Jeff, why don't you show people stories like I do? Show the stories of the people.
It's not funny.
Try on them over.
Sad, man.
So I forget you got your job.
Sad. It is. I used to really admire people, like Liam Bartlett and 60 Minutes and that. They call themselves investigative journalists.
Yes.
Who's an investigative journalist now? You guys. Absolutely pathetic.
Hey, don't get any wise ideas and try and be like us.
Yeah,
stay
a
out.
real journalist.
The mainstream gonna lose fucking the uniform too. He didn't like it, but he's just fucking mainstream fucker. Sorry for being so honest, but we've been run by psychopaths, and this is their visit card, pretending to, that everything is dandy and good, We know the truth, and the truth will make us free. Love you, everybody of you. Cheers.
Hey, Jeff. Do you reckon Channel 7 could do a 1 hour show of all the people just telling their stories? Is that possible?
Not something for me to decide.
You guys are contributing to a lot of this shit by not reporting. You aren't reporting on vaccine injuries, you're only reporting on the amount of people vaccinated. I don't get it.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
I don't do interviews.
I notice with mainstream, when I do ask them questions, you are all told not to answer and you don't answer a single question. I appreciate you giving me a few words, but thanks for giving me a few sentences. Do you think Mark McGowan's listening to the people, or what do you think?
Nah. No, bro, he's paying attention, but he's not listening. It's a matter of you get X amount of people on the street and they have to do something about it. If the polls say, jump this way, they jump that way. That's how it works. That's it. They work on polls and they work on absolute numbers. We get absolute numbers, they start to back down. If we don't, they don't. It's that simple.
How do you think society's going to look at this in 50 years?
Depends if we win or lose, brother. If we win, I think we'll look at this as a time of rising, of awakening of consciousness, and when people finally decided to stop worrying about materialism and start worrying about what's real, that's what I reckon. Operation Lockstep comes to mind, I don't know if you're aware of that. It's very telling. It was released to the public in about 2011 or 12, I think, and it's what we're living through. It's a top-down control grid, everything working in a lockstep fashion from one side of the globe to the other to get us to an end goal of a one-world governance, and that's about it. As an Australian culture, we've always been like, bugger authority and don't trust any bloody politicians, but all of a sudden mainstream media and politicians are gospel, and we're all mad if we don't believe it. Where did that leap out from?
That's the problem. When does it stop? The booster shots are clearly not working. Israel rates are skyrocketing. They mostly have their third booster now. It's not slowing things. It's not stopping spread. And now we have a new variant, which even Moderna are saying that it's not going to help. It's just, they're not working. It's clear that the vaccines are not working. If they were, we wouldn't be standing here today. We're injecting an experimental vaccine into our arms, which is causing death and injury. There's 5 million injured over the world, over 300,000 deaths, and they're forcing workers to have it when we know that there is a risk with any drug or vaccine. There is always a risk, and there should always be a choice. And to be held at ransom to lose your job over possibly becoming ill and having a lifetime illness or even death, it's just so wrong. It's unjust.
Pro-choice. Hey, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. You're not allowed to have Vegemite sandwiches. It has to be honey. For we are the government. You must eat what we tell you. Yeah, you're not allowed to eat that. You can only eat what we tell you to eat. Thank you, sir. All right, there's all the government wannabes.
I was just up there and I was just thinking, you know, all those uniforms and stuff all put down. I was just questioning whether or not they're actually going to get to him and make like the
He'll have
impact.
to see it.
Yeah, the impact. And then I was just like, I walked past this cleaner and I walked up to the cleaner and I was like, "You're the cleaner here, yeah?" And she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Do you reckon he's going to see that?" And she was like, and I was like, "Okay, you know, what is going to happen with all this?" And she's like, I was like, "Are they going to throw it in the bin?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, that's so lost, you know?
It is. What do you think of the mandate situation with McGowan government?
Oh, it's all illegal. I think he's just still on cloud nine from the election, how everyone loved him and put him up on his pedestal, and yeah, hopefully the tide's turning, so can only wait and see. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully the outcome is the way we want it. You know, it's going to be talked about. Hopefully we'll teach this to our kids as well. You know, they're the innocent ones in all this, so we can show the kids that this is what happens when something's wrong. You stand up and do what you believe in. I mean, just shutting the so-called borders closed again. I mean, my partner's boss is already not happy about it. She went and got jabs so she can go see the grandkids for Christmas. Well, that's not happening. Exactly right before Christmas, you know, people are starting to get comfortable with, let's go on a holiday, yeah, we can go here, there. No, sorry, shit can, that one too. It's not about whether you're vaccinated or not anymore. It's about your rights, it's about your freedoms, it's about, you know, our sovereignty as a colony. That's what it comes down to. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, give the government enough rope and hopefully they'll hang themselves and we can stand there at the end of the day and go, well, you know what, we tried to tell you this 12 months ago, a year ago, whatever. I'd rather go down standing than begging on my knees. I don't care if someone's vaccinated or not, you know, I legally don't have any right to that either to know, even if I wanted to know. Yep. So, you know, we need to get rid of this whole vaccinated, unvaccinated, boosted, not boosted. At the end of the day, this is not what it's about. This is every single Australian right now, doesn't matter of your vaccination status, your rights are taken away because you know what, Christmas is coming up and there are thousands of West Australians that would love to go over east to see their family for Christmas and they can't. To see the mining industry, you know, McGowan has relied on mining to keep WA going through this whole pandemic, you know, and to see this many people walking off the job, and I'm sure there are more out there that just couldn't get here for whatever reason, standing up. This is great. This is the tide turning and we just need to keep the pressure on and just do not give up. We've got to be the dog with the bone and just don't give up. The Australian mentality of she'll be right, we just, you know, it's just easier just to go along with it. Well, you know what, it might have been the case in the past, but look where it's gotten us. Yeah. We're now in this situation where we're being divided. Australians have never been divided and now we are. So yeah, it's about just putting it all aside, jabbed, unjabbed, boosted or not. Let's come together. Let's get rid of this government and get our country back.
Hang Loose Recluse News. If the Australian people continue to do nothing and let the government get away with changing our constitution without public referendum, it will eventually mean we will lose more of our constitutional rights and reduce our democratic freedoms. Please hit the subscribe button. You're watching Hang Loose Recluse Productions.